Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm Lisa from Down to Earth Gardening, and today's video is on creating an easy herb container. So I've got some herbs here and I'm going to walk you through some do's and don'ts of making a really simple container of herbs. This is also a wonderful project to do with children because my biggest tip here is to be buying some herbs to put in the container that are going to be kitchen friendly for you. So think about herbs that you typically will use in your kitchen for cooking, baking, drinks, whatnot. And so it's fun to have the children build this container along with you and then harvest some herbs and use them in the kitchen. So I just think about what I like to use, and I'm just going to show you quick what I have here. So I have creeping thyme, which I like to use in my sauces. And I've got some parsley, which I use as a garnish or also in spaghetti sauce. Rosemary, love to use when I am baking a whole chicken. And also we do have a favorite cocktail that this is an ingredient, main ingredient. Basil, love to use with my fresh tomatoes and mozzarella cheeses. And then I've got lavender because I like to dry it, and oh, just this one is the lavender. And also make like a lavender lemonade out of, and also a beautiful garnish or even to decorate some cakes and desserts. So that's a fun one too. So do is going to be pick herbs that you use. But I have a don't for you here because there is one in particular that I don't like to use in the container, and that is mint. So here's my don't. And mint, lemon balm will get their own container because they will just take over the whole container. So very aggressive, and it needs its own container. So I do like mint, and a do is give it its own spot. So I have my container here, and my do is you definitely want to have a drainage hole in the bottom because your herbs will experience root rot if they're sitting in water, so you want the container to drain well. So another do with your container is pick a container that's a minimum of 8 to 9 inches in diameter and also 8 to 9 inches tall, minimum. So don't pick something smaller than that or you'll just be repotting pretty quickly here. Okay, so this is fairly easy to do. And I've got double rosemary, so I'm just going to use one of them here. So another do for a container this size would be to put in 3 to 5 herbs. So a don't would be no more than 5 herbs in a container this size, because again, they're going to outgrow it too quickly. So what I have for my materials here is basically I just have my herbs, my container, and my potting soil. So I just like to use a nice well-rounded potting soil. And I don't know if you've all seen a little short I recently did, but I have recycled an old screen. I've cut it up and just made some little squares which I put over the drainage hole, and that will allow the water to seep through but not the precious soil and compost. So we're just going to go ahead and fill this container up about 2/3 full. And then we're going to arrange our herbs in here. So I'm going to remove some of the bottom here, some of just the excess soil. I'm going to keep my tags. I like the thyme towards the front edge because then it can drape over. And the same with the curly leaf parsley. So same technique here. And I've got my pretty lavender. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and just fill in any air pockets. Just going to fill in around the herbs. Okay, that's it. So I want to talk about care because aftercare is really important. But I have my little kitchen herb garden here, and I have to tell you that one of the reasons why I did pick a smaller pot is because I can move it around and put it close to the kitchen. So I can have it on my porch, or I could have it on the patio, or even in the garden if I'd like. But I tend to keep it close to the kitchen so I can harvest my herbs. But tip number one for aftercare is don't leave your potted herbs outside if the temperature is going to drop below 50. So herbs really like a warmer temperature, so 50 and above. And the first one you'll see wilt will be the basil here. So if you do have it in the smaller pot, it's easy just to bring inside or bring it on your patio and cover it. So second aftercare tip is to make sure that you keep it watered, not overwatered. So you want to come out and you want to check the surface of the soil and just make sure that it is moist. Don't let them dry out. And then tip number 3, and this is a good one, is when you're harvesting your herbs, it's very tempting to pluck the nice beefier leaves towards the bottom, but you should not do that. You should harvest them from the top for a couple of good reasons. Number one is the bottom leaves here are really important because they kind of act like solar panels. So they're absorbing sunlight and water and nutrients, and so they're really important to the integrity of the whole plant. But number 2 reason is when you're harvesting from the top, you are pretty much just giving them a haircut, which is great for herbs to eventually, even if you're not using them, just to give them a haircut, trim them down on the top, and it will encourage them to be bushier. And last but not least, you want to put your herb container in a sunny location. So all of the herbs here, and in fact all herbs, do appreciate full sun. So 6+ hours a day would be a great spot for this little container. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me for my easy little container herb garden. I love doing projects like this with you, and I hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked it, please go ahead and tap like and hit subscribe to our channel because we have lots more gardening videos coming your way.